The Minnesota Timberwolves are headed for the official playoffs, not the play-in. They beat the LA Clippers 109-104 thanks to 30 from the man known as Anthony Edwards. Gets the job done amid a stinker from Karl Anthony Towns. Joining me now, Ben Beecken from Locked On Timberwolves. And Ben, if I had told you before the game, if I had given you the stat line from Karl Anthony Towns, I assume you would have told me the Wolves had no shot in this game.
Yeah, I mean, when Karl Anthony Towns fouled out too. I mean, like there were, or when he picked up his fourth foul in the first half or his fifth foul in the third quarter. Yeah, exactly. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 of 11 shooting. He fouled out in just 24 minutes, 4 turnovers, 3 assists for Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah, I mean, it speaks to, I think the Towns conversation is a separate one. Part of the conversation, though, is Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell absolutely stepping up when the Timberwolves needed them most. And it's not at all the blueprint that the Wolves put together, that Chris Finch put together for this game, but obviously it worked out.
So I think you mentioned the Cat conversation being a separate one. It's also a central one to the playoff seeding that they now face with the Memphis Grizzlies, who have been an outstanding team all season. They are the 2 seed. So with that matchup, the question is, how much more do you need from Karl Anthony Towns? We know the answer is a lot, but shade in that gray area for me a little bit.
Yeah, he's actually been pretty good against the Grizzlies this year. Against the Clippers, I mean, he played in 3 of the 4 games against LA earlier this season in the regular season, and he averaged like 15 and 6. The Clippers basically put together the blueprint for how to slow down Karl Anthony Towns, and because of their length and Ty Lue's coaching and the depth of the Clippers, the way they play defense, they were able to execute that blueprint, obviously, and they did it again tonight. But Memphis hasn't really slowed down Karl Anthony Towns. He's averaging a double-double against them. He shot 39% from 3 against them, 54% from the field against the Grizzlies. Obviously, Memphis has some good bigs. They've got Jaren Jackson Jr., who's always a handful, especially in the offensive glass. But I actually think, I mean, it's a much better matchup for the Timberwolves, even though, I'm not saying at all that the Grizzlies are not as good as the Clippers, but from a matchup perspective, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Timberwolves played them. They beat them by 30-plus once this year. They sent them to overtime, a Karl Anthony Towns 40-footer buzzer beater to send the game to overtime. So it's actually not that scary of a matchup, outside of it, of course, being the 2 versus the 7, and obviously the Wolves will be underdogs. And I also want to say, if the Wolves had lost this game, which it looked like they were going to at many points, I think the pressure on Karl Anthony Towns in a potential 8-seed play-in game on Friday against either San Antonio or New Orleans would have been far greater than the pressure is now. Like, obviously, he's going to have to answer those questions. But, I mean, he's got a whole series now instead of one game where it's all on the line to at least kind of answer back and show that he's better than he was on Tuesday.
Right, they won. And the questions are always a little different when you win. The Wolves are going to need more from Karl Anthony Towns. Let's talk about Anthony Edwards, who was every bit to this moment. The lights, you know, the old cliche, the lights being too bright. They were not too bright for Anthony Edwards, but it's got to go up a level now. It's Ja Morant. It's the Grizzlies, another young, hungry team. And it's not going to be enough to just give good effort. He's going to have to be skilled as well. Some of the skill he showed in this game. What do the Wolves need from Ant in this series?
Consistency, and he's had a lot more of that obviously this year than he did as a rookie, but he's had these swoons where he's just put together. He scored a career high 49, I think it was last Friday. Then on Sunday, albeit a meaningless game, he was like 1 of 10 or something to start the game. Didn't play in the second half because it was a meaningless game, but he'll do this where he'll have a big game. Now, it is the playoffs. He obviously likes when the lights are bright, and he's kind of always said that, even though this is his first time now in the playoffs, the play-in and then the playoffs. I think we're going to see more of the same. We're going to see maybe some high volume 3-point shooting. We're going to see some maybe, not intelligent plays that he makes offensively, but he's a good on-ball defender right now. And he's in attack mode all the time. And I'd rather have an aggressive Anthony Edwards making a few mistakes than somebody who disappears.